Hello everyone, welcome to Redbust US channel. In this video, we look at the latest news by the US Department of State regarding more vetting for H1B and H2 visa holders. They released a press note yesterday, so that's what we'll cover in this video. If you want to subscribe to our channel, do subscribe for getting regular updates. So this is what we'll cover in this video. We'll look at the big, brief background. What is that actual clause that has come in, and what should be you be doing if you're going for H1B or H4 stamping, and what they exactly would use, screen kind of information, and what they look for, right, and some of the common FAQs. So this, let's get started. So what is the news, right? So this is the actual news. So this is on the US Department of State website that you can see the announcement came yesterday. So we'll look at details around this. Yeah. So just to give you a background, what happened is this is not something new that they rolled out all of a sudden, right? So back in June, they initially temporarily paused, F, M, and J visa stampings. And at that time, what happened was they resumed the visa stamping. And along with that, what they did was they added more vetting for AFJ and M visa holders, and they made some announcements, and all of that came in, right? So one of the key things that came back then was to make your social media profiles public. And now I believe it's something similar to that, what's happening. But what has happened is now in the last, few weeks or so, right, there has been some situations where an Afghan national shot somebody and all of that, right? So all of these, the climate of all of these actually make it more worse. So that's why there is more and more, policies that are around these that are coming out. So that's the, probably the reason for this suddenly coming out, or maybe this was planned. We don't know. So, but it makes us believe that because of some of these activities, they're rolling out this more aggressively now. In any way, so this is the key summary from the from the press release. So the first one is what they say is from December 15th, the US Department of State will do additional review for online presence. And what they say is, you need to have your privacy settings for all your social media profiles to be set public. So just as most of you know, when you fill out a DS-160 form, you need to give details of all your social media profiles, whatever you're entering, right? All of that. Now, all those particular handles that you give, they all should be public. Essentially, you can't really have something protected. I think that's what they mean. So one quick way is you could actually like check if you can open an incognito. We don't check for that, right? So what happens is US Department of State will take all of this information that's publicly available to them, and then they will do additional visa screening or vetting to decide if you're eligible to enter the US, and if you're not considered a threat to the national security and all of that, right? So this is the crux of the entire press release that has been released, right? Now that that's out, what should you do if you're an H1B as applicant or an H4 as applicant, right? So, what you see on the screen is something that is a private profile, right? Somebody says the account is private. What it should look like is something like mine, where everybody can see what is posted and everything should be accessible. So one good way, as I said, is to put it in incognito mode that you can see on the screen, right? And then see if it's all accessible. So that way, that essentially, right, everything is accessible. And here is another example for Twitter also, you can protect your tweets, but or X, right, whatever, right? So you should make all of these also public, right? So ensure that all your profiles are public, not just the day before you go to stamping, but you should do while you're filling the DS-160 or once you complete submitting it, right? Because essentially all of these could be background processes that will run and then, fetch all this information, right? So now the big question is, what will the US Department of State vet or screen, right? Again, there is no specific guidance given in this press release, but what we have gathered from the past, release from June, July is that they have the discretion, right, to essentially like assess an application and deny a visa. What they look for is if you show any hate or anger towards America, its culture, people, government, or its value system, right? Or or if the applicant is supporting a terrorist organizations or pose a threat, right? And also, they want not to encourage, if you're part of any illegal anti-Semitic behavior, also all of these things, right? And how will they assess if you're part of this? So essentially, they would take all your profile information and run their algorithms to figure out, if your views are somewhere tilted towards any of these things. So that's what the assessment is, right? Again, we don't know how they will do, because people can game the system if they tell how they're going to do it, right? So that's the idea. But again, the key point is, if you do not keep it public, then you also could be considered that you are trying to hide something. So that also could deny a visa. So you should keep it open. Now, what are the common FAQs, right? So who all does it apply to? It applies to H1B, H4, FMG, and all of these visa types. Again, we don't know if this will get expanded to all of visa types, but as of now, these are the visa types, right? So are there any new questions in AS 160? Nothing as of today. We may see more in the future, but nothing as of now, right? What if you delete everything and keep it blank? Again, you doing anything like this is going to create more trouble for you. So just make it public and just leave it as it is, because what we don't know is, they might have all the information that from the past as well. So it's just that they're trying to validate some of this information. So in any case, so just do not try to do anything, like deleting so that your profile is clean. That will create more questions and it may delay your stamping as well. And is it applicable to new H1B transfers renewals? It applies to everybody, right? I mean, they don't clearly tell that if it's only for new or old. So if you're going for stamping after December 15th or after December 15th, you will be subject to this. So ensure that all of this is ready and all of this. So what will happen is if you don't have any of these, in line, then, you could get 221Gs and all of these things that you may have to go through, right? Which is not, fun, right? So all in all, guys, I mean, this is, if you're a genuine candidate, you don't have, most you have nothing to worry. Just to make it public and you should be fine. Again, there may be some privacy information, but you have to live with it because that's what they're mandated. So yeah. Again, thank you for watching. Do subscribe for getting regular updates. Leave your comments below in the comment section. Happy to answer. Thank you.